Things got heated and exciting when Triple H abandoned his ex-girlfriend immediately after he met the daughter of the owner of the WWE,
leading to Triple H leaving China in favor of McMahon.
That heat was nothing compared to when Vicky Guerrero proposed to Edge, but was cheating with the Big Show.
Vicky, will you be my wife?
The most exciting was that of a wrestler who, after his many scandals, admitted to his wife that he cheated on her. Which wrestler was that? Well, let's find out about 14 wrestlers who were caught cheating on their partners. Let's get in. Shawn Michaels and Sunny. The relationship between Shawn Michaels and Sunny, though kept in secrecy and scandal, was an important chapter in the narrative of 1990s WWE. The catalyst for their closeness was an incident that could have been lifted from the script of a gritty drama. Shawn Michaels, known for his brash and outspoken nature, found himself on the wrong end of a confrontation at a bar. The altercation left him severely beaten, a rare moment where the line between the character of the Heartbreak Kid and the man behind the persona, Michael Shawn Hickenbottom, was painfully crossed. In the aftermath, as he lay in need of aid, it was Sunny who stepped in to help. Sunny, whose real name is Tammy Lynn Sitch, was staying in a neighboring hotel room at the time of the incident. Upon discovering the dire state Michaels was in, she took it upon herself to ensure he received the medical attention he needed. This act of kindness was the beginning of a bond that would quickly evolve into something more. As Michaels recovered from his injuries, Sunny became a constant presence, tending to him and providing comfort during his period of pain. Despite Sunny being in a committed relationship with fellow wrestler Chris Candido, who performed under the ring name Skip, the attraction between her and Michaels was undeniable. The affair between Shawn Michaels and Sunny was as passionate as it was controversial. It was a secret romance that, once exposed, sent shockwaves through the WWE locker room. Upon their return from a vacation in Jamaica, where their relationship had blossomed in the tropical heat, the two were less than discreet about their newfound connection. Sunny, perhaps emboldened by the affair, shared photographs of the trip with others, including candid shots that left little to the imagination. The fallout from their liaison was immediate and far-reaching. Sunny's partner, Chris Candido, was seemingly oblivious to the affair, which only added to the tension and discomfort among their peers. The wrestlers backstage, many of whom had formed close bonds with Candido, viewed the affair with a mix of disapproval and sympathy for the cuckolded wrestler. Shawn Michaels' relationship with Sunny was a combustible mix of lust and emotion, a fiery romance that burned too bright and too fast. As quickly as it had ignited, their affair fizzled out, leaving behind a trail of hurt feelings and professional complications. Despite the end of their romantic involvement, Michaels and Sunny were still entwined professionally, forced to navigate the awkward aftermath of their relationship in the public eye and the close quarters of the wrestling world. Up next is another cheating scandal that happened outside the ring but was revealed in the ring. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. In this story, from 1996 to 2000, Triple H used to date Chyna, and they looked inseparable before the introduction of Stephanie McMahon to the WWE.
Between 1996 to 2000, Triple H and Chyna were inseparable, and it looked like the two were going to spend the rest of their lives together.
Stephanie McMahon, the daughter of WWE chairman Vince McMahon, was initially introduced as a sweet and innocent character to the WWE audience. Her on-screen romance with wrestler Test led to a planned wedding that would be a WWE programming highlight. However, the introduction event took an unexpected turn when Triple H, then a rising star with a villainous persona, revealed a shocking secret. On that episode of Monday Night Raw, Triple H interrupted the ceremony with footage that left the audience in disbelief. He had taken an unconscious Stephanie to a drive-through wedding chapel in Las Vegas and married her himself. Talk about a bachelor party gone wrong. This bombshell ended Stephanie's relationship with Test and launched what would become one of the most influential alliances in WWE history. Triple H emerged victorious in the battle for Stephanie, but the true surprise came when Stephanie embraced her new husband, revealing her complicity in the scheme,
leading to Triple H leaving Chyna in favor of McMahon.
This development spelled the end for Triple H and Chyna's professional partnership and personal relationship, as Chyna would depart from WWE in 2001 under a cloud of controversy. Some years later, when Chyna was asked about her relationship with Triple H, whose real name is Paul, she responded by saying, "It's not my position to judge. People say, how do you feel about her taking Paul? But you don't take anybody. You have to go willingly, and I don't. Blame Stephanie for that. I blame Paul." And then Triple H also later replied to her saying, "Our relationship had taken a bad turn quite a bit before any of this ever happened. We were on a downswing a long time before that. And when you're around somebody 24 hours a day on the road, business-wise, it's difficult." Vince McMahon. As the beautiful age of the WWE empire continued, Vince McMahon, the indomitable force behind the brand, found himself embroiled in a series of allegations that threatened to tarnish his legacy. The Wall Street Journal's report in June 2022 sent shockwaves through the wrestling community, revealing a staggering $3 million in hush money payments made by McMahon to conceal an alleged affair with a former WWE employee, Janelle Grant. Subpoenaed in August of the following year, he staunchly maintained his innocence, declaring he had always denied any intentional wrongdoing and continued to do so. The scandal reached its peak in July 2022 when McMahon, in a move that stunned fans and industry insiders alike, announced his retirement from WWE. I guess Vince decided it was time for a retirement match against his own scandal. Things changed when, after the WWE concluded its internal investigation into the payments in November 2022, McMahon made a dramatic return to the WWE board in January 2023. A former WWE board member, speaking to the Wall Street Journal, expressed confidence in the investigation, but remained tight-lipped about its findings. The narrative of Vince and Linda McMahon's relationship, once a thing of beauty within the wrestling world, took a dramatic turn as whispers of personal and professional separation began to surface. This was a result of his illicit practices and downright cheating on her, which he later admitted in an interview with Playboy, saying, "Not necessarily faithful. I probably lied to myself thinking she knew who I was when we got married. The wild guy. But I never ever threw anything in her face. I was discreet." He then goes on to say, "Linda never suffered from a lack of attention, physical or emotional. But one day she asked me, point blank, 'Are you having an affair with so-and-so?' And I've never lied to her. Yes, it crushed her." The public perception of the couple, who had been married for over half a century, shifted as details emerged, painting a picture of a partnership that had gone sour. Dave Meltzer, a respected wrestling journalist, shed light on the state of their marriage, noting that while they remained legally bound, their lives had long since parted ways. Bray Wyatt. Wyatt was married to Samantha Rotunda, his college sweetheart. The couple appeared to be the epitome of happiness, sharing the joy of parenting their two daughters. However, the foundation of their marriage was about to be tested in a way that no one could have anticipated. In 2017, the wrestling community was rocked by allegations that would shake the very core of Wyatt's personal life. Samantha filed for divorce, and the documents painted a picture of betrayal. The allegations pointed to an affair between Wyatt and Josiane "JoJo" Offerman, a ring announcer and former wrestler who was a rising star in her own right within the WWE. Wyatt denied any wrongdoing, claiming that his estranged wife was attempting to defame him and extort financial gains through the divorce proceedings. The battle lines were drawn, and what followed was a tumultuous legal battle that played out in the public eye. The court documents revealed a timeline of events that suggested a clandestine relationship between Wyatt and Offerman. Phone records obtained by Samantha's legal team indicated that Wyatt maintained continuous contact with Offerman, which contradicted his public denials. The evidence suggested that their relationship had begun long before Wyatt's marriage had publicly shown signs of strain. As the divorce proceedings dragged on, the scandal continued to unfold, with new revelations and accusations emerging. Samantha's legal team accused Wyatt of failing to pay spousal and child support, which added fuel to the fire of public opinion. In the end, Wyatt divorced Samantha and eventually married Offerman. What a mess that was, or don't you think so? Lita, Matt Hardy, and Edge. Long before the scandal that would shock the wrestling world, Matt Hardy's history with Edge and Lita was one of shared passion, as they were all very good wrestlers and friends. Matt Hardy and Lita were in a relationship at that time. By 2004, cracks started to show. Matt suffered a severe knee injury that took him off the road, while Lita continued to travel with the WWE roster, including Edge. During this time, Lita and Edge grew closer, their relationship evolving into something more than just friends or colleagues.
It became the talk of the wrestling world.
The affair between Lita and Edge, both of whom were in committed relationships at the time, was a bombshell that no one saw coming. The WWE, in a controversial decision, released Matt from his contract, citing unprofessional conduct. The fans, however, rallied behind Hardy, their support unwavering during his time of personal strife. The outcry from the WWE universe was deafening. Chants of "We want Matt" and "You screwed Matt" became a regular occurrence at WWE events directed at Edge and Lita, who were now vilified by the masses. The real-life drama had spilled over into the shows, and the WWE had no choice but to pivot and incorporate the scandal into their programming. Edge and Lita, leaning into their newfound roles as heels, became one of the most despised duos on Raw. The saga took another dramatic turn when Matt Hardy made a surprise return to WWE on July 11, 2005, attacking Edge backstage in a moment that blurred the lines between reality and storyline. Fans were left questioning whether what they were witnessing was scripted or a genuine outpouring of Hardy's wrath. WWE capitalized on the momentum, re-signing Matt and setting the stage for a feud that was as personal as it was professional. The matches that followed were intense and often brutal, with each encounter seeming to carry the weight of the real emotions behind them. John Cena and Mickie James. John Cena, who was the face of the company, and Mickie James, the women's champion with a flair for captivating audiences, were a pair at some point. Their on-screen pairing was a masterstroke of WWE's storytelling prowess. As the storyline progressed, the lines between the characters Cena and James portrayed on television and their real-life personas began to blur, and they entered into a secret relationship. The relationship was not without its casualties. James was engaged to Kenny Dykstra, a fellow WWE star whose career was on a different path. Dykstra, once a promising talent, struggled to find his place within the WWE hierarchy. When the truth about James and Cena's relationship came to light, Dykstra bore the brunt of the fallout. The betrayal led to the end of their engagement, and not long after, Dykstra's release from the company in 2008. Rumors abounded that Cena had used his influence to hasten Dykstra's departure, though such allegations remained unconfirmed. For James, the affair with Cena was a double-edged sword. While it may have brought her a measure of happiness, it also placed her in a precarious position within the company. As Cena prepared to marry Elizabeth Huberdeau, it became clear that their relationship had no future. James was subsequently transferred to SmackDown in November 2009, a move that many saw as the beginning of the end of her WWE career. James's professional repercussions were severe. In the spring following her move to SmackDown, she was released from her WWE contract. The timing of her release, so closely following the end of her relationship with Cena, led to speculation that the scandal had influenced the company's decision. Adding insult to injury, James was subjected to the Piggy James storyline, a cruel and demeaning plot that mocked her appearance and left a stain on her otherwise stellar WWE tenure. Batista and Melina scandal. Melina is undoubtedly one of the most important names in the history of the WWE women's division. She worked hard to establish herself as one of the better female wrestlers during her time in the company. Now it appears she contemplated ending her own life after vicious rumors of cheating with Batista. During the mid-2000s,
Hey, Batista.
Melina.
You getting ready for your match?
Yes.
Batista was in a relationship with Melina. Fans at that time were more than aware of how tumultuous their relationship had become. In fact, both of them were confronted about it backstage in WWE. The two were friends during Batista's marriage, and they only got closer after his marriage ended. They dated briefly afterward, but rumors of having an affair still maligned them. Melina took to Twitter and revealed that these rumors made her contemplate ending her own life. She tweeted, "Did you know I attempted suicide back then? I never want to talk about it or getting raped, because I don't want it to be all people see when they look at me. I'm more than what happened to me. I know whoever started the rumors didn't care, but these falsehoods ruined lives." In fact, Batista was accused of eavesdropping on Melina while they were together. Eavesdropping? More like Batista was trying to unlock the next level of drama in his relationship game. Batista and Melina's real-life issues led to Melina getting released by WWE after they had a heated altercation. Batista and Melina dated for a few months before breaking up and finding other relationships. Regardless, we are glad Melina didn't take such a drastic step and is now better than ever. Seth Rollins. Before Rollins rose to fame in the WWE, he was in a committed relationship with hairstylist Layla Schultz. The couple began dating in 2008, long before Rollins' career took off, and they were often seen together, showcasing their affection for one another, both in public and on social media. Their relationship reached a significant milestone in 2014 when Rollins got engaged to Schultz. However, their love story took an unexpected and scandalous turn, causing their relationship to crumble. In 2015, a scandal erupted that would rock the wrestling industry and almost derail Rollins' promising career. Private photos of NXT development talent Zara Schreiber were leaked online from Rollins' social handles. And since his handles at the time were synced with WWE, these photos were automatically reposted by WWE as well. Rollins immediately issued an apology. The leaked photos, which were inadvertently published due to Rollins' social media accounts being hacked, exposed Seth's infidelity and allegedly shattered the trust between him and Schultz. In supposedly a retaliatory act, Schultz shared private pictures of Rollins in response to the pain and betrayal she felt. The scandal became a major media frenzy, tarnishing Rollins' reputation and threatening to derail his growing career as one of WWE's top stars. Ultimately, the scandal proved too much for Rollins and Schultz's relationship to withstand. The couple decided to end their engagement and go their separate ways. Jarrett and Karen Angle. The saga begins in the late 1990s, when Olympic gold medalist Kurt Angle and Karen Smedley vowed to share their lives together, getting married in 1998. Their union was celebrated, and for a time, it seemed as though they were destined to live happily ever after. Kurt, a celebrated athlete, transitioned from Olympic wrestling to the world of professional wrestling, where he quickly became a household name. As Kurt's star rose in the squared circle, so did his career's demands. In 2006, he made a pivotal move, joining Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, TNA, a company carving its niche in the wrestling world. This decision would prove to be a turning point, not just for Kurt's career, but for his personal life as well. Karen, initially known to the public as Kurt Angle's wife, soon became an on-screen presence in TNA. Her role evolved from a mere extension of Kurt's character to a persona in her own right. She accompanied him to the ring and even engaged in storylines that would see her become an integral part of the TNA narrative. However, as the Angles' professional lives flourished, their personal relationship began to fray. By 2007, the couple found themselves at a crossroads, and they made the difficult decision to separate. It was a tumultuous time as their separation played out not only behind closed doors, but also under the scrutiny of the public eye. The following year, in 2008, the divorce was finalized, closing the chapter on a decade-long marriage. Kurt and Karen Angle's separation and subsequent divorce were not just personal setbacks, they also had professional repercussions. Kurt's involvement in TNA had been a significant factor in bringing Karen into the wrestling world, and their split raised questions about the future of their on-screen roles. As the dust settled on the dissolution of Kurt and Karen Angle's marriage, a new chapter of intrigue began to unfold in late 2007. Whispers echoed through the corridors of TNA's locker rooms, suggesting that Karen had found solace in the arms of another wrestling stalwart, Jarrett. Jarrett, a co-founder of TNA and a widower since 2007, following the tragic loss of his wife Jill to breast cancer, was a prominent figure in the company, both in the ring and behind the scenes. The murmurs of a clandestine relationship between Karen and Jeff grew louder, yet both parties remained tight-lipped, denying any romantic involvement. However, the rumor mill churned relentlessly, and the speculation became too loud to ignore. Dixie Carter, TNA's president, found herself at the epicenter of the brewing storm. Determined to get to the bottom of the matter, Carter confronted Jarrett about the allegations. Jarrett vehemently denied any romantic entanglement with Karen, but the seeds of doubt had been sown. The situation escalated in 2009 when an anonymous caller dialed into the Bubba the Love Sponge radio show, claiming insider knowledge of the situation. The caller alleged that Karen and Jeff's relationship was not only real, but it also progressed to the point where Karen and her children with Kurt had moved into Jarrett's home. Dixie Carter, feeling betrayed by Jarrett's dishonesty, took decisive action. Jarrett was suspended from TNA, a move that sent a clear message about the company's stance on integrity and transparency. Benoit. The tragic relationship of Chris and Nancy Benoit began with a pro wrestling storyline, with Nancy leaving Kevin Sullivan and getting married to Benoit.
Favor of starting a romantic relationship with Benoit. Nancy and Benoit would later marry in late 2000.
Kevin initiated that storyline, but it ended up becoming real. Many believe the on-screen fling between Benoit and Nancy turned into a real-life affair that ended her marriage to the Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan. But on an episode of the Tuesdays with the Taskmaster show, Kevin said things deteriorated long before then. When Nancy and I had that angle with Chris, I was living in the Florida Keys. She was living in Daytona Beach, he explained. We were separated, heading to a divorce. The only time I saw her was if we were on the same plane or the same building together. When Chris took the angle over, his wife was about to give birth, and he had another baby. He had to tell Eric Bischoff, "You gotta tell my wife this is an angle." Despite rumors to the contrary, Kevin Sullivan says that he got along with Benoit during their heated on-screen feud. In fact, Kevin Sullivan says there's only one member of Benoit's crew of friends that he didn't get along with. Eddie Guerrero came to Florida when he was a kid, and I set him up and he became, from one night, a boy to a man, Sullivan continued. Dean Malenko, his father, and I were dear, dear friends. The only one I didn't really get along with was Perry Saturn. We're both from Boston and he somehow didn't like that. I don't know, I really don't. He was a weird guy. Sullivan doesn't speak often about Chris and Nancy, having been recklessly implicated in conspiracy theories surrounding the double murder-suicide that also claimed the life of 10-year-old Daniel Benoit. Enzo Amore. Enzo Amore and NXT's Liv Morgan were an item. It wasn't a relationship the WWE promoted, and unless you were looking, you probably wouldn't have known. But now that you've been let in on this little secret, don't get used to the idea of seeing these two lovebirds together. If you read between the lines of a recent post on social media, Enzo wasn't exactly faithful after being called up to the main roster, and Morgan stayed back on NXT. According to a Twitter post, Morgan is relieved too. Not fond of being cheated on, her post shows her enjoying the single life and the feeling that she no longer has to watch over her shoulder. If you add this news to the continued information that continues to pile on top of Enzo's heat in the WWE, one has to wonder what exactly Amore was thinking. Morgan was one of the most attractive women in NXT, and the WWE for that matter. Amore cheating on her is just more proof that he's gotten out of control with his antics, and while it likely won't affect his standing within the company, it's hard to imagine him lining up another girlfriend who matches Morgan on the hotness scale. Perhaps this wasn't about Morgan at all. With the amount of money that Enzo had been spending on shoes, clothing, and tickets to see Floyd Mayweather fight Conor McGregor, perhaps having a girlfriend at all was too big of an expense. We also don't know that this tweet was definitively about Amore. She didn't use his name directly, and it's possible their breakup was already old news to the wrestlers in the back, but it shouldn't take a rocket scientist to put the pieces together here. Amore is quickly becoming hated by many in the WWE, and this breakup only made things worse for him in the eyes of the fans. CM Punk and Lita. It's one of the most surreal moments in the history of a wrestler meeting somebody they were a fan of, considering the personal lives of former Divas champion AJ Lee and WWE Hall of Famer Lita. In July 2001, Lita was riding high in WWE, while AJ Lee was a 13-year-old fan in tears as she met her idol in person. She got Lita to sign her copy of WWE's newly released VHS bio tape on the diva, Lita. It just feels right, and even got a hug out of the encounter. The camera focused on AJ, who was rocking a Lita t-shirt and had tears of joy on her face. How times have changed, huh? What's noteworthy about that is that Punk had previously dated Lita. In fact, Lita was Punk's girlfriend in 2013 and even his date to the 2013 WWE Hall of Fame induction ceremony. They broke up shortly after the event. Punk started dating AJ, and now they're husband and wife. All three wrestling stars are private people, so none of them have publicly said anything about this odd triangle. However, popular Reddit user MetFansForever,
a notable verified
WWE insider, claimed Punk was dating AJ while still dating Lita. Lita would be off somewhere else in the building, and Punk would be talking to AJ, he said, while also noting that Lita attended most WWE shows when she was dating Punk. I thought it was kind of odd at the time. He continued, I think a lot went on when Lita would be sitting by herself and he was chatting with AJ. A lot went down at the arena. In April 2014, Lita took her rightful place in the WWE Hall of Fame, alongside Ultimate Warrior, Razor Ramon, Jake the Snake Roberts, Carlos Colon, and Mr. T. Mets fan 4 ever reveals that Lita's enshrinement would not have happened had Punk not walked out on WWE. If Punk was there, it would not have happened. That's all I know. Their breakup and dating AJ would not have sat well with all three parties. It would have been even more uncomfortable for Lita, he said. The announcement was made exactly 2 weeks after Punk told Vince McMahon he was going home. In response to an article discussing Met Forever's news about the trio, a commenter said, now it makes sense. During an episode on Raw, CM Punk pretty much admitted he was f***ing AJ Lee while with Lita. That's f***ed up. This triangle has also been a source of comedy within WWE. Jerry Lawler and The Kat. At first glance, the age gap between Jerry Lawler and Stacey Carter was nothing short of striking. Lawler was already well inching to his 40s when he crossed paths with Stacey in 1989, and she was just 18 years old. This substantial 21-year age difference immediately raised eyebrows among the wrestling community and fans. Allegedly, their connection started during this tumultuous period, which complicated matters and cast a shadow of impropriety over their budding romance. Soon, she transitioned from Miss Kitty to The Kat, and during her time under this persona, she was involved in various feuds and rivalries. However, her in-ring skills remained limited, and she often found herself overshadowed by more talented and established female wrestlers. The release of Stacey "The Kat" Carter from WWE in 2001 took a significant toll on Jerry Lawler. Lawler was deeply loyal to both his wife and the company he had been a part of for so many years. When WWE decided to part ways with Stacey, it was a shock to Lawler, who vehemently disagreed with their decision. In a bold and defiant move, Jerry Lawler chose to stand by his wife, publicly expressing his displeasure with WWE's actions. Just before WrestleMania 17, one of WWE's flagship events, Lawler decided to leave the company.
Vince wants to give Stacey her release. Well, if they're going to release Stacey, I'm going to have to go with her.
He didn't stop there. Lawler went a step further and openly threatened to join WWE's main competitor, WCW, which was a bold and risky move considering the wrestling industry's competitive landscape at the time. As Lawler ventured into this uncertain territory, his marriage to Stacey faced even more turmoil. Rumors began to circulate that Stacey had been involved with a WWE developmental talent behind her husband's back. As the truth about Stacey's infidelity emerged, their marriage unraveled, leading to their separation in late 2001 and a subsequent divorce in 2003. While Jerry Lawler would return to WWE after this tumultuous period, his relationship with Stacey Carter and the events that transpired during that time will forever be etched in the annals of wrestling history as a cautionary tale of love, loyalty, and the high stakes of life in the world of professional wrestling. Vicky Guerrero. Of all of WWE's bizarre love affairs, the most unexpected may have occurred between Edge, Big Show, and Vicky Guerrero.
Vicky, will you be my wife?
At the time, Edge and Vicky were married, arguably a clever power play by the rated R superstar, as Vicky was the SmackDown GM. Their relationship was a bit disorderly in the beginning, with allegations of cheating, but Vicky and Edge remained strong. In the weeks leading up to the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania, Vicky announced that Edge would defend the World Heavyweight Championship against Big Show at the Show of Shows. However, John Cena, who lost the title to Edge a month prior, revealed that Vicky had been cheating on Edge with Big Show. As a result, the WrestleMania bout was rescheduled as a triple threat match. Although the world's largest athlete and the rated R superstar shared a mutual disdain for Cena, their lovers' quarrel over Vicky outweighed their hatred for the Cenation leader. With Vicky at ringside, her two lovers failed to beat Cena on the grandest stage of them all, with Edge losing the title. Not long after, he filed for divorce. This brings us to the end of the list. If you enjoyed this video, please click on any of the cards displayed on your screen.